we had saw this picture, and it wasn't the ones that was recently released. It was a picture of Suge hugging Misa, and Misa having Justin in her arms. The caption said, "What the East Coast won't take care of, the West Coast will."
If you allow a man to take care of you, how could you get mad when he tell you, shut your punk ass up and go get me a drink? Because you putting yourself in that position by allowing another man to feed you.
Diddy had a bodyguard named Wolf Jones. And I'm gonna put his picture up here. And I'm gonna let you determine if he looks more like Justin or does Justin look more like Diddy. Wolf Jones used to be Diddy's bodyguard up until 2003, where he was shot and killed.
How do your son look just like your best friend / bodyguard / man who gave you $300,000 to help Bad Boy get started?
So Suge Knight is talking again, and this time he's dropping hints that Diddy and Misa Hylton have been lying to Justin Combs about his biological dad for years. Now, if you know anything about Bad Boy history, you know Diddy had a bodyguard named Anthony Wolf Jones. Wolf wasn't just a bodyguard though. He was close to Diddy during the early days, and he even helped him start Bad Boy Records with a $300,000 loan. But things between them got complicated and fast. Wolf ended up dead in 2003, and a lot about that story has always been messy and half explained. Now, Misa Hylton, Justin's mother, has always claimed that Diddy is the father. That's been the official line for decades. But Suge is now hinting that Misa made a deal with Diddy to lie to Justin so that Diddy would raise him as his own. The crazy part is, this isn't coming from out of nowhere. There have been rumors about this for years. People in the industry have been talking about how Justin doesn't really look like Diddy at all. Out of Diddy's 6 kids, 4 look like him: Christian, Chance, and the twins, Jesse and Delilah. As for Quincy, we already know his biological dad is Albie Shore. But Justin is the odd one out. Diddy claimed him as his own. But if you look at Justin, he has Anthony Wolf's whole face. So let's talk about Suge's recent claims about Justin, the timeline around Justin's birth, who Wolf really was, and why Misa allegedly lied to Justin about his real dad.
For some people, is that Diddy's son? Because Diddy had a security guard that worked with him in the early 2000s. His name's Anthony Wolf Jones. And he died, I believe was killed, a month before Justin was born.
So just to give a little background, Diddy met Misa Hylton when she was still in high school. And according to Diddy's ex-bodyguard, Gene Deal, Misa was around 15 or 16 at the time.
I've always wondered a couple things. Was Diddy messing with Misa when she was in high school?
Yeah.
So my math is about right. 15, 16, they start messing around. Okay. And Diddy's definitely older than her.
Right.
So y'all can do the math on that.
Misa was into fashion early on, and when she turned 17, Diddy helped her land a gig assisting on a Jodeci video shoot. That's around the time their relationship started, and they were off and on for a few years. But according to Gene, things weren't as sweet behind the scenes. He says Diddy was controlling and was putting his hands on Misa. Diddy was also cheating on Misa regularly, but the second he thought she might be talking to someone else, he'd snap. And Gene claims it got so violent during one incident that Misa had to hide under a car to get away from Diddy.
Drop Dead Gorgeous. She thought Puff was messing around. I guess like she started talking to the dude from EPMD. He came to see her, and Puff beat up till she got up under the, beat up literally till she tried to run up under the car.
Wow.
He was reckless with his hands.
So Misa gave birth to Justin in 1993. But here's where things start to get murky. Gene said he can't say for sure whether Justin is biologically Diddy's, but he did point out that Justin looks a lot like Diddy's so-called best friend, Wolf.
Do you think that Diddy is actually Justin's father?
I wasn't there. You know, but I make indie windows like, damn, how your son look like your best friend? If he like it, I'll...
Anthony Wolf Jones was one of the closest people in Diddy's inner circle at the time. He was by Diddy's side for years, including during that 1999 nightclub shooting in New York, the one where Diddy was out partying with J-Lo and Shine. All three, Diddy, Shine, and Wolf, ended up getting charged over that incident. But while Diddy and Wolf walked free, Shine was the only one who took the fall and served a 10-year sentence. And as you probably know, there have been rumors that Diddy threw Shine under the bus, allegedly paying off witnesses to shift the blame and keep himself and Wolf out of prison. And Wolf stayed loyal to Diddy, but that loyalty might have been what got him killed. In the late 90s, Diddy started linking up with Big Meech, the head of the Black Mafia family. Around that time, Meech launched BMF Entertainment to wash all the money he was making from his illegal substance operation. BMF Entertainment pushed big artists, including Diddy himself, Jay-Z, T.I., Trina, Young Jeezy, Fabulous, all as a way to give their illegal business a legit cover. But that whole setup came crashing down in 2005 when the DEA cracked down and indicted key BMF members, sending Meech and his brother Southwest T to 30 years behind bars. So here's what happened. A few years before BMF got busted, Big Meech was arrested in connection with a shooting that killed Anthony Wolf Jones. On November 11, 2003, Wolf was shot and killed outside an Atlanta nightclub. But what stood out was Diddy's reaction, or lack of one. He stayed silent, and his response was ice cold. Diddy didn't even comment on Wolf's death publicly. Instead, he got his lawyer, Ben Brofman, to put out a brief statement offering condolences to Wolf's family and saying Diddy wouldn't be commenting out of respect for their privacy. Now, as for Misa and Justin, when Wolf died in 2003, Justin was just 10 years old, and Diddy still wasn't really involved in his life. In fact, according to a 2006 article from Today, Misa tried to get legal support from Diddy, but he fought it in court and ended up refusing to pay for Justin. And while some say Misa suing Diddy for child support meant he had to take a DNA test to prove he was Justin's dad, it turns out that in some states, just signing the birth certificate could have been enough. But this whole timeline where Justin actually moved in with Diddy is pretty unclear. And what a lot of people say is that while Wolf was still around, Diddy wasn't really involved in Justin's life. But then Suge Knight enters the story. According to some insiders, the reason Diddy eventually decided to raise Justin as his own is because he wanted to punish Misa for getting involved with Suge. Remember, Diddy did something similar with Quincy, Kim Porter's son with Al B. Sure. He was bitter about Kim and Al's relationship and did everything in his power to cut Quincy off from his real dad. Now here's where it gets even messier. During a recent episode of his prison podcast, Suge talked about his relationship with Misa, and he even showed this photo of himself handling daddy duties with baby Justin. And then Gene Deal came forward with even more, saying Suge used to straight up terrorize Diddy, and that Suge stepped in to take care of Misa and Justin because Diddy was acting like a deadbeat. And you already know Suge knew exactly how to get under Diddy's skin.
Puff got mad because Wolf showed him a picture that was in a magazine of Suge Knight and Misa. Suge was hugging Misa, and while she had Justin in her arm, and under the capture, the picture said, "What the East Coast won't take care of, the West Coast will." And let me just tell you something. A vein went through Puff head. Yo, that nigga could have, he could have bust the vein in the head when Wolf showed the picture. I was so mad at Wolf because we was finished. We was about to go in the house, and then got mad, man. And we went to some spot. This is crazy, man. This is just crazy, the whole thing. But I'm glad it came to light, man. What's done in the dark will come to light.
So according to Big Gene, Misa turned to Suge because Diddy kept dodging child support payments. Now, whether Diddy was just being a deadbeat or if he actually had doubts about Justin being his kid, that's still up for debate. But one thing is clear, Suge was taking care of Justin before Diddy was.
So Misa's out there working because she gotta work, you understand? She having problems with Puff because Puff don't want to pay her the child support that she need for Justin. So she out there trying to make deals, get her business together. She gotta eat, bruh. But it's something that was going on that she wasn't getting the money she needed to take care of Justin. And that's all I knew.
Do you think Suge was only messing around with her to get at Diddy, or do you think he actually liked her?
I can't speak for that, man. You understand? But that's the art of war.
The interesting thing about Misa is that she was one of the first women in Diddy's life when he started making real money. So you know she's got some stories. But somehow Diddy seems to have silenced her because now she's actually been showing up to his trial and publicly supporting him. Now what's crazy is that just a few months before Cassie filed her lawsuit against Diddy in November 2023, Misa wanted nothing to do with Diddy, and she was actually calling him out for ruining Justin's life. So in June 2023, Justin was arrested for a DUI DUI in LA and faced misdemeanor charges. And right after that, Misa went on IG and started blasting Diddy, saying she was done with him and that from now on, she'd be protecting just my son. But Misa wasn't done. She went off on Diddy, saying, everyone has to sit around for years and act like there isn't anything wrong with you. Missy then brought up Diddy's lawsuit against liquor company Diageo and said, how you go from the greatest to ever do it to making all your money off alcohol and suing the damn alcohol company? Sell something healthy that builds hope. I'm sick of it. Not mine. Misa also went after Diddy's parenting skills and wrote, the statement "a fish rots from the head down" means that. In addition to being a major contributing factor in a family organization's success, leadership is also the root cause of its failure and demise. The truth shall set you free, and all the children. I love a come to Jesus moment. And then she added, I should have kept my child with me. FUCLA too. Everybody can get it. Finally, Misa shared a photo of a lioness protecting her cub and wrote, if anything ever happened to my son, God forbid, what is anyone going to say to me? When we all know whose fault it would be. So how did Misa go from airing out Diddy and accusing him of ruining her son to suddenly defending him and showing up in court? Well, most people think the answer's simple. She's still on Diddy's payroll and trying not to mess up those checks. But honestly, Misa wasn't wrong about Diddy messing Justin up. And here's why. Justin was already named in that lawsuit filed by Diddy's producer, Lil Rod. And he just got hit with a brand new lawsuit from a woman who says Justin and Diddy raped her together after her drink was spiked at Justin's house. As for Justin's reaction, he's been completely silent through all of this. No statements, no distancing himself from Diddy, nothing. And if the allegations in that new lawsuit are true, that silence starts to make a lot more sense. But now I want to hear from you. Do you think Justin is actually Wolf's son and Misa knowingly kept that from him? And what do you think Diddy's real motivation was for stepping in and raising Justin as his own? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and I'll catch you in the next video.